Good morning from lovely College Station, Texas, on a not so lovely day, potentially here in College Station. It is great to be with you for halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, my friend Matt Jones, the C unit in the studio. Christian, I hear a little bit of an echo coming through here for me, so if you can do something about that. It is cloudy, it is overcast, and it is potentially rainy when it's supposed to be game time. Whatever you just did made it louder than it was even 4 seconds ago. So try the other thing. Try to maybe turn the thing in the other direction
The other
potentially.
left, yeah.
Yeah, your other left. That's basically the way that I'd look at it. Hopefully we'll be playing baseball later today. Maybe the echo leaves my ear by the time. There we go. Now we got it going. That's much better. Now I just hear my voice regularly. I'd like to, let me start the day with a lie for you, Matt. Okay,
Ooh.
You looking pretty today, as I see you on my FaceTime.
I do like it when you lie to me.
All right, maybe I'll try. I'll start with something that might be a lie, but maybe it's not a lie because I have no decision making in this whatsoever. We're going to play baseball today. Now that maybe that's true, maybe it's not true. Usually, you would just say, "Hey, it's on the schedule. You're going to play." But I guess this year, at least in the last month and a half, you can never really be sure about it when you do show up. It's cloudy right now, but it's going to be getting darker as I sit here at Bluebell Park, right across the train tracks from Kyle Field. And I think by the time I get out of the ballpark and when the show is over, Matt, it'll probably be raining by then. Looks like we got lightning, we've got thunder in the forecast, we've got potential hail. There is even a flash flood warning in College Station, Bryan. But it does look like if you're going to be able to play baseball, I don't think it'll be 7 o'clock. But I do think maybe if they're okay waiting until 9:30 or 10 o'clock, maybe be able to get it done. And I don't know. So that's my weather report. I don't know if it's a lie or not, Matt. But I told you I would say one lie. At least I told you you're pretty today.
There we go. Do you put on your phone wherever you're going? Do you put everything in so you already see the weather before you're going there, or do you just wait until you get down there and then you find out?
Unfortunately, I get a little bit. A little crazy about it because I look 2 weeks ahead.
Yeah, right.
Like last week,
I do the same thing. If I know I'm going somewhere in the next, I already start looking at the weather, or I'll go in and plug it in my phone where it's like, oh, okay, that's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Well, it's like, what am I going to do? Start planning 2 weeks? I mean, the hotel's already booked. The car's already booked. You're going there no matter what. It's not like the weather's going to force you to not make a trip when it's on the schedule like this. It's different when you got vacations and things planned out and things like that. But yeah, 2 weeks ago, I was already looking at what the weather would be like in College Station. So right now, I feel like I'm ready to start looking ahead for when we're in Fayetteville for a regional. I'm not ready to start looking for the weather in a month when the College World Series starts. So
it's getting hot.
Well, it will. It will. When we got off the plane yesterday, it felt nice. It was 85 degrees outside. It was a great day to be at the ballpark for a workout, but knowing full well that you could be in a position where, maybe you can play, maybe you can't, but you don't want. Do you want to have everybody stick around until 11:30 or midnight? Because that may end up being what you got to do to finish a game. Got a 7 o'clock game on Friday, so I mean it's not, and nobody's got classes to worry about, so it's not like you got to worry about they got things to wake up for in the morning. No, it's just a game, and it's another night game, not even scheduled for the daytime. So. But when they do get on the field, at some point, it'll be Hagen Smith against Ryan Prager, two of the better pitchers in the SEC this year. Hey, Prager's not at Smith's level. Nobody is, but he's maybe as close as any other pitcher in the SEC numbers-wise. 2.71 ERA, lots of strikeouts, just over 200 batting average against, and you get a Texas A&M lineup that can score a lot of runs against an Arkansas pitching staff that, at least when Hagen's out there, is really good keeping them from scoring. And Matt, it's just nice to be at College Station. It's a fun place to be for baseball. Just hopefully they don't get the bubble machines going too much.
So whenever the tarp, so y'all do a doubleheader tomorrow. Is that what you're saying?
That's what we'd have to do.
Yeah, that's okay because it does look. I just looked at the weather. It looks like it's on the way. Looks like it's all
Yeah,
on the
and I
way.
mean it's got when lightning's involved, that's what really can screw things up because you could still, it could just be a drizzle or the storm could have come through, and if there's lightning that's hanging around in the area, you're never going to be able to get on the field. So, yeah, if they do a doubleheader tomorrow, I mean, I don't really think that messes things up too much for Arkansas moving forward. It just compacts the series, and then it puts, a little more pressure on the bullpen to to perform and lengthen that pen because
Well,
it's
you don't
rare
have
that
to.
anybody pitches twice on the same day. And then in that case, you're pretty much guaranteeing, I would assume, that you see a guy like Mason Molina work out of the bullpen at some point.
There you go, kind of problem solves itself. But you don't want the last thing, and I know we talked about this earlier in the week, is you don't want to take somebody out there, Hagen Smith, and go through your warm up, play one inning, and then all of a sudden the storm gets here and it's suspended for 2 hours, and then he's not the same. So you don't want to mess up that routine. So you just we'll go tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, it's huge anticipation. That's for sure. I mean, they've already added this new bleacher section just past the video board in left center. They call it Section 12. They just put it out there. I mean, they just put it out there 2 days ago.
12 rows, 12 seats, 144 people. Is that how they do it? Or
I think they said it would hold. I can't count the number of rows from here, but if I'm just looking with my naked eyes right here, that doesn't look like the safest seating section. Honestly, no, all right.
It's probably general admission tickets.
It's just the bleachers look like they've been left out in the rain and then to dry for a few times without having the rust clear put on it. That's all I'm saying. But they want to get this place as loud as they possibly can, and it's got a great atmosphere. Great atmosphere. Just added the new bleachers 2 years ago in right field, and it's. I don't know if have you been to College Station before, Matt?
No, sir.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
sir.
I know A&M and Arkansas. They weren't football
We
opponents.
didn't
They
play-
hadn't signed the contract when you were playing there.
Didn't play A&M in anything. No, sir.
But they thought about you, right? This was a school that.
Well, I got
you?
recruited by them. They had a cool. Dat Win was there. They had a running back that was going on. Reggie McNeil was the other quarterback, number 16. He was in my class, and they were one of the schools that when we were talking, you have your, like kind of what Calipari's doing with some of the players now when he come in. It's like had a meeting with them talking. They're like, we'll offer you a scholarship if you want to. We're going to take one quarterback if you want to be that guy and commit to us. We won't offer anybody else. But no, I was never going to go. But they had a cool postcard. So when they send you the paraphernalia, the memorabilia, whatever they send you, it was like a picture of them, and it was called the Wrecking Crew, and so that was kind of cool. Yeah.
I guess I'm surprised that it didn't have something to do with the 12th this or the 12th.
They had some 12th man stuff going on.
Of course.
Yeah. They're big in the ROTC. Yeah. They're a little. I don't even dislike them because they're not even quality enough to dislike. They're just like y'all are so different, weird, and like in a not a cool way that it's like I can't even. You're not even on the radar for me to have dislike for you. So yeah,
They definitely have their own club.
they're definitely their own. Go over there though. Yeah, if they're over there, just y'all stay on that side of the park, and I'll go over here. It's okay.
They got handshakes. They got secret passwords. They got triple secret passwords.
They're just goofy. They're just the whole. If you're a Texas A&M alum, you're just a little bit odd.
Well, they take pride in it. That's for sure.
Good. Say, hey, I'm not. It's your music. You have to listen to it. Like, hey, if that's your stick and that's your thing, that's cool. It's like going on, like Aaron Rodgers going on his journey with his shepherd or his shaman. It's like, go ahead and go if that's what you're into. I'm not into it.
Well, I was always raised to be proud about yourself and the things that you take pride in and the things that you take joy in and who you are as a person, no matter what anybody else were to think about
Absolutely.
you. Texas A&M definitely fits that mold. That's for certain. You would not have fit here.
No, I don't want
this
any.
would not have been a Matt Jones landing spot.
I don't think the vibe. I don't think we would have. Yeah.
This would have been you would have needed the transfer portal 24 years ago. I'm pretty sure about that. 23 years ago or whenever it was that all went down. Too bad you didn't have that thing. I'll tell you what though, and I've been meaning to ask you this. So there's going to be this settlement between the NCAA and its member institutions and the conferences and the class action litigation that's coming around the corner. It's basically, the SEC presidents met yesterday. The ACC presidents I think have already spoken about this in some cases. part of this settlement isn't just what's moving forward, which would be revenue sharing of, I think I've seen dollar figures of somewhere between $20 and $30 million per year per school for the athletes that are currently under their supervision or auspices. But there's also over $2 billion in past damages to previous athletes for those athletes, people like you, Matt, that weren't able to make money on their name, image, and likeness. So I don't know. You might get a phone call or an email or a text from the NCAA that just kind of seems like it's coming out of the blue. Just like I got the email from the Travelers with my 5 shares of stock that said, "Hey, we're selling. You're going to get something for this." So at some point they ought to let you know. I would think you might get something for this.
Here's a cigar. You're going to go far. I hear they got a lot of money, but I don't know who they're giving it away.
Oh, by the way, which one's pink? Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Hey, if they want to call me up and give me some money, then cool. But I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there may be something down the pike for you.
There we
because
go.
This whole thing kind of started right around the time that you were playing for Arkansas in those 2 sports. So I think at some point you'll hear something about it. Oh man, the sun's starting to shit. It's like I hate when it does this. I mean, right now it looks like you could get out and play ball right now and it just be okay, no problem whatsoever. But this will be one of those shows that by the time we're done, it'll be pitch black, it'll be dark, it'll be in the middle of the day, and I'll be like, all right, which game do I get to watch tonight? Because it ain't going to be this one. And hey, it should. The problem is, it's like, sure, there's some other good SEC games and schools that have to be pretty desperate, I think, about trying to win today, tomorrow, and Saturday, and then maybe even do something in Hoover to get a bid, an at-large bid, like LSU and Ole Miss. Man, and Baton Rouge, that's a series for the desperate. Those are 2 schools that probably need to sweep each other to even have a prayer, and then maybe do something in Hoover. Florida and Georgia. Florida's probably got to sweep Georgia. Georgia, they've got an outside shot at a top 8 national seed, so that's a big series for both of them. Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Kentucky wants to win the SEC. Vandy still needs to probably do some work to ensure that they even make a regional where they'll have to go on the road. South Carolina, Tennessee. Tennessee's got as good of a chance as anybody, not Kentucky, to win the SEC. They got the tiebreaker over the Razorbacks, and they got South Carolina at home. Carolina's trying to, make some sort of a case that they could be a top 16 host. Alabama, Auburn. I'm sure Auburn would love to ruin Alabama's chance to make a postseason. If they sweep Alabama, maybe that will happen. Mississippi State and Mizzou in Starkville. Mississippi State's got a chance to host. In fact, the last projections from D1 baseball kept the Arkansas Regional across from the Starkville Regional. So you may very well see that. Who knows? But still, the biggest series. And I haven't looked at the rest of the conferences, but if you're talking about just overall matchup, this is the best in the country. Arkansas number 3, A&M number 5. Teams playing for the West Division Championship. Teams trying to ensure that they'll be top 8. Great pitching. A&M's got all the power in the world, but we're going to probably have to compact this thing. We'll just see. Maybe I'll be watching baseball at some point tonight, Matt. I just don't know if it'll be here in person.
What will the kids do? Do they go? Is there an inside park? Will they go get some cuts in? Will they do some long toss? Will they do any type of agility movement? Kind of what if it's a rained out game, or is it just
Well, it's like you can't get on the field at all if there's lightning. It's not like you can just go out and do some light.
But they got that other
won't allow
building
anybody out there.
Yeah,
they've got
like an
facilities
indoor,
nearby here, right next, connected that they can do some hitting. So that's where they'll get that kind of stuff done.
It's always interesting, Phil, like in a football game when you'd have a rain delay. It seems like there's 2 different types of people. There's one person that won't stop moving. They like, where's the bike at? Where's the thing? I got to do something. And then there's other people that are like, all right, well, just wake me up when the game gets here. We're ready. Just what are we doing?
Caged animals sometimes. I've sat through a couple of those, even here at Bluebell Park, where when you're on the road for baseball, man, there's nowhere to go. Maybe there's an extra room that's next to the dugout, but it's not big enough to hold the team. So, the minors, you'd have a clubhouse you could go to, and you could sit around lockers and stuff like that. They don't have that here. They don't have visiting lockers. All right, I guess we got a break. Here's what's halftime for Thursday. Still waiting for confirmation on Bob Holt for about an hour from now, but I'm sure we'll be able to talk with Bob. Brett Dolan joining us in a couple of hours. See what he's got thoughts on this Arkansas and A&M baseball series. Your calls and texts as we go throughout the show today on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. And as always, brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. When you're making big plans and adventure plans for your family over the summer and you're looking for an RV, well, Crabtree RV definitely has an RV that fits your needs. Find them at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma beside the Cracker Barrel and online at crabtreerv.com. Halftime will be back right after a quick break.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hardworking. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Caymas, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofers.com. That's Kophers.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit MedleyCompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
With over $30,000 in cash and prizes, don't miss the 34th Annual Judge Greg Ray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce, Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Head to Gillum, DeQueen, or Dirks Lake and set your sights and your hook on the special $10,000 Reel the Weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, SevierCountyChamberOfCommerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the state. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 70. $1,979.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Now through May 27th, buy 1 gallon of Clark Kensington or Ace Royal paint and get 50% off at your local Jaegers Hardware. Sale includes interior and exterior paint, limit 2.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Stuff at the sea. I'll see you late. With supper from side. Go to the rising light. Moving for tomorrow's show. Ahead of what we're looking for. Tell me.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, I saw where Gottlieb does say that he's going to be hosting this radio show while he's still while he's the head coach.
How many
of Green Bay.
days do you have to be there to call it your radio show?
Well, I mean, so all right, how many days do you have to be fully into being the head coach before you call it your own program?
Because it's 65 days to win awards in NBA. You have to 65 of the 82 games, whatever percent that is. It's your day. It's your program day one. Once if you're the head ball coach, man, it's your program. That's you. You better be the leader. You better not be wearing a blue blazer out when you just signed the deal. You better have on a red one. You know, it's like he's green and gold now. I mean, that's just what it is. When you're the head ball coach, that day one, it's yours.
Well, look, you can do a radio show anywhere. I mean, I'm living proof of that. But you would want to think that. I mean, I think one of the reason I can do this radio show the way that we do it is because one of the main topics are the teams that I'm traveling with, and it's I don't know. It feels, and even sometimes I have trouble keeping up with everything going on. Even with the teams that we talk about, especially nowadays with all the player movement, I can't keep up with everything going on in the SEC as far as basketball transfers, and I can barely keep up with the football transfers right now.
It's kind of fake news, though. It's the transfer news is not really. It's nothing. People. It's not a. It's like, okay, like you don't have to be first at the transfer portal.
Well, I just even mean like keeping track of what the rosters look like.
That's what I mean. Yeah, wait till camp. That's why they're numbers until you make a play. Let me make a play first. Let's see. It's this ever revolving door. You can't. It's impossible to keep up with it.
And then there's all of the games that I guess people you got to watch if you're hosting a show and all these other things to keep up with too. And it just seems, I mean, hosting a radio show to me feels like a big job. We do 3 hours a week or 3 hours a day. Gottlieb is doing 2 hours a day. It's on a national perspective. Maybe the opinions are baked in, and maybe he'll be able to watch all the games you got to be able to watch to be able to keep up or set the conversation the way that he does. It just also feels like being a head coach of a basketball program in Division I, heck, in Division II, Division III. I mean, that's a big
full-time job. How are you going to do a daily radio show?
Yeah, and I mean, what does that present to to everybody else that works for you. It's like, well, all right, you'll handle that kind of stuff because I got to worry about being ready for this radio show. Even if you're putting an hour into it, an hour of prep into 2 hours, that's 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Sure, you can travel, you can do the games, you can have somebody sit in and host for you when you need to. Greeny does it all the time. I mean, I don't even know why they call it Greeny during the summer because he's never there. And I'm sure with Gottlieb, there'll be somebody that steps in as the main co-host that people will like listening to. It's just, I don't know. It's like, and I also think of myself as if I was a parent that's sending a kid off to college to play for somebody, and maybe you view it as 1 year at a time because of how rosters are kept now. I want to feel like the head coach has totally bought into being the head coach of that team for that year. I think it's understood, like Gottlieb is taking this job to try to step up the ladder a little bit at some point. He's not going to stay in Green Bay for the rest of his coaching career. If he does well, after 2-3 years, maybe someone else will look for him and hire him. But I would like to feel like, all right, so you're bought in totally to being the head coach of this team for this year. But at the same time, like, all right, now you got to worry about what else is going on in the world of sports at the same time.
They probably won't do phone callers on that show, huh? It would be. It would just
right.
be.
Yeah, he says, well, a coach does a weekly radio show. Well, the coach does a weekly radio show, but it's not hosted by the coach. He's not the one who's coming up with the content. Sam Pittman sits there and does the show with Chuck, and I've hosted that a few times. Chuck's the one who comes up with the questions. He's the one who sets the conversation. Coach Pittman's not up there for the entire time. There's two players that join him as two. It's an hour. When you throw in the commercials, it might be 40 minutes. So you can't point to a coach doing a weekly radio show. You can't. There's a daily radio show. It's 2 hours a day for 5 days a week. I don't know. I just would think that a coach would be spending his time coaching or prepping for games, for opponents, building a schedule. The kind of stuff that Cal talked about the other day. I thought it was kind of fascinating to hear him talk at the Hall in Little Rock after the one Razorback Roadshow stopped through about the schedule. I hadn't even thought about that. Now you got to build the schedule. Yes, the SEC just gave you your opponents. You got a couple of games in San Diego, but outside of that, you got to build a schedule. And the first thing you had to do is you even said to the media, I talked to the team before I talked to everybody, and what did I have? They didn't have a team. You know what else they didn't have then? A schedule. I mean, that goes into this. Coaches have to approve that. Aren't there some phone calls that go into it?
3-29 were that's just a bad. That's a tough deal when you're not very good coming into a program, and let's say you're not winning. Let's say you're not above 500, and then you're off to do your radio show. It's kind of hard to be all in.
And again, it's different if it's a podcast. I think it'd be a much different thing if it's a podcast, because you can record a podcast at any time of the day, and I don't think a coach that has a podcast is doing a 2-hour daily podcast. To me, it doesn't feel like this will work. And I'm not rooting against Gottlieb at all. I think it's kind of interesting to see if this does work out or not, independent of the fact that he's going to host a radio show. It's a guy with no coaching experience that's stepping out of I wouldn't even say the broadcast booth, stepping out of the studio. I'm sure he's done some game analysis, but he's more of a talk show guy and taking over a Division I basketball program. I think that's fascinating in and of itself. Now add, he's going to keep the other full-time job. Good luck.
Well, he did coach AAU. He coached I can't say Maccabi games.
The Maccabee games.
Maccabee games.
Well, yeah, he's Jewish, so yeah, he coached the I guess it was the American. It must be in the American team.
2017, 2022. He coached with Bruce Pearl as an assistant and stuff. His dad was so I mean he's still in the game. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think it's just it's a kind of you're bringing on undue criticism for no reason. I don't know why you don't step away from it, or maybe it's seasonal. Maybe during the basketball season he's not doing it every day, but then when he's in the off season he goes back and does his radio show.
Who was there? There's been a couple of broadcasters that were taken out of the booth and turned into managers, and I mean from one year to the next. think Larry Anderson, was it Larry Anderson that did that? And I know, Jerry Coleman, who was doing San Diego Padres broadcasts, they made him the manager for a year. He was not, now he was a ball player. I think Jerry Coleman played for the Yankees. I can't remember exactly, but he was a good ball player. The San Diego Padres become an expansion team. He's their play-by-play guy. I think he was the first one, and did great work. And then the next thing you know, they turned him into the manager for a year. I think it blew up in their faces, and he went right back into the booth for the remainder of his life. It's tough to be the manager and the play-by-play guy at the same time. Some of them try to do it, but it's actually kind of impossible to pull off.
Yeah, J.J. Redick might be a manager. I could see kind of LeBron maybe coaching his son. You got all this Bronny thing going on, man. It's a player coach. It's out there. Might be harder to play coach instead of coach and have a radio show. Maybe that might be the easier of the two.
Now, player owner, we got to get to
and
that.
Starting power forward.
Well, they had starting. That's right, and PA announcer, so he can announce himself when he comes on for starting lineups. I know Mario Lemieux did the player owner thing.
But wasn't he in Russia when he did it? Or
that's Yager. That's
Yager. Okay, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, when Lemieux became owner of the Penguins, he turned what was essentially, because the team was going into bankruptcy, he had equity in the form of the contract that he had. And he just turned the contract into equity in the team and became the owner. And, oh, by the way, starting first-line center at that point, too, which was his second or third comeback.
The Mets are paying Bobby Bonilla. They should just put him as the manager. It's like you were already paying, you come manage it, and then there you go.
It's only $1 million a year, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
well, that's cheap now. All right, we got a break. It'll be 877-377-6963 is our McLarty Daniel hotline when you want to get on with us. Stay with Halftime. Right back after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Attention Arkansas, Red River Dodge is the place to be with over 50 new Chargers and Challengers in stock and over 100 new Ram 1500s ready to roll. Plus, get up to $15,000 off MSRP on a new Ram Heavy Duty. Make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com. And always remember, at Red River, we deliver.
During It's the Season sales of
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan Sea Salt Body Wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
It's a party in the parking lot. Camping World with locations in Van Buren and Podo is the place to be. Take the summer off from payments. 0 down and no payments for 90 days. There will be special pricing for this parking lot event on new and used RVs, starting as low as $13,999. You can save up to 70% on select retail items. There's something for everybody. So come on out for the food and fun at the party in the parking lot at both Camping World locations in Van Buren and Podo, May 16th through the 18th, and in Van Buren on the 19th.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Auto Glass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Auto Glass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Auto Glass a call. 782-4441.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Crashed your party. Saturday I said I'm sorry. Sunday came, trashed me out again. I was only having fun. Wasn't hurt. Enjoyed the weekend for a chance. Standing in the combat zone. To bed for your style along. Motorcycle in the rain. And you told me not to drive, but I made it home. So you said that only proves that I've been insane. You made me right, made me crazy, but it just made me lose.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, Matt, I was a little disappointed a moment ago. I had to run through this radio booth. It's the biggest booth in the SEC. This is huge. This radio booth is bigger than the entire press box.
They're going to film the next American Ninja in there.
They would have plenty of room to put all kinds of obstacles in here. Heck, there's room for climbing walls. Absolutely. But I ran into the writers area because it's Bluebell Park. It's named for the ice cream company. And they used to have free ice cream. They used to have a freezer over there that
with
was filled with
wooden spoon, right?
Well, I don't remember if they had ice cream sandwiches and they had the little cups. Yeah, so I don't know that usually the wooden spoon comes on the little cups.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And oh man, it's like I knew something was wrong. I think this was when we were here in 2017. We were in 15, 17, 19. Yep. 2017. The ice cream was gone. It wasn't in there anymore. The freezer was there. The ice cream was gone. This was before the pandemic. And the ice cream was gone because the next day, Bluebell announced that there was a listeria outbreak. I think it might have killed 1 or 2 people, too. So they got rid of all the Bluebell ice cream on Earth, including all the stuff that was sitting in that freezer. Now, they've got the freezer in there. There's no ice cream in there. And I was a little hungry, so I don't know. At least they've got plenty of water. They got that going. But it's the biggest booth I've ever been in the SEC.
Get you one of those if you have people that have if you have a homemade espresso machine, but you get you a scoop of ice cream and then pour you a hot double espresso over there. Yeah, right.
Dude, you are talking that is my language. That is absolutely my language. So there's an article that I just saw before I got on the show today. I mean, this came out 10 minutes before we got on. Myron Medcalf wrote it, ESPN staff writer. in which he talked with Nolan Richardson, and the headline is John Calipari can end Arkansas's title drought. A quote from Nolan Richardson. And, I mean, that's no surprise because I think we've heard that already since Cal's hiring. He just had said it to the local media or to the regional media here. But now it was the top story on the ESPN website for a moment there. And, I mean, does that mean, I mean, do you think Muss could have won a national title at Arkansas? To me, it's like if you get to the Elite Eight, you're close. But it was each time the Razorbacks played in the Elite Eight or even in the Sweet 16, remember they lost to the eventual national champions, and you could tell that there was a difference, that there was a separation.
Muss had lost some of his cachet. Like he had lost something where you got to get talent, Phil. Like you have to have NBA talent on your roster to win a title. So he didn't last year. He didn't have any NBA talent. You know, it wasn't. It was a total. Whatever happened, because the year before he had a couple guys and they're still in the league. Jordan Walsh just got playoff minutes this year, and so you got to. I think that's the thing Calipari can do. He still has the weight, he still has the name, and I'm not saying anything. Just Muss had a down year, you know. But is Muss a good enough coach to win a national title? Yes, I think so. But it wasn't. It just for whatever reason it had kind of fallen short here. And I think Calipari I think he can do it, man. I do, because he's going to get the NBA talent in, fresh start, just all the support. How are you not excited with the enthusiasm of the Razorback fans and ready to go and another chance to prove yourself in 4 or 5 years? I mean, Phil, I really think in 5 years, if he's our coach, 2 Final Fours would be like, I mean, if you wouldn't you take, I mean, you would take 2 final, and it's not you won a national title, but I don't see any reason why we don't make a run, have a couple Final Fours in the next 5 years.
So, I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, you look at Calipari, and everywhere he went, there's an immediate uptick in regular season wins, postseason wins. It happened at UMass, it happened at Memphis, it happened at Kentucky. Each of those places, he had to learn a new league. You know, I mean, he was an assistant at Pitt when he took the job at UMass, but that was going from one league to another. It's about the same recruiting, and he got lucky in a lot of cases.
You got to say having Marcus Camby on that team at UMass. You got to have players, right?
He had to convince him to play at UMass.
That's what I mean. That's what we're talking. You got to have some NBA guys.
You know, he's not learning a new league. I mean, there are no new buildings to learn. He's been through this SEC 15 years in a row now. You know, maybe learning Kentucky in a different.
But you're learning the portal. He's learning. He's kind of getting a different type of player.
And that's the thing I was going to go to. It's another one of the comments that he'd made at the Hall. I think that was Tuesday that the One Razorback Roadshow went through Little Rock, and he had talked about roster construction, that if you're going to limit to about 8 players, well, right now you got the 3 freshmen that are scheduled to come in for you, and that's going to be the only freshman. He said, I mean, he had 7 last year. He'll never have anything close to that. I think when you look at the way that he's putting this team together, you get a couple of guys that played for him at Kentucky. You get 3 that had signed to play for him at Kentucky that are now coming in. So you get 2 guys that you would say are veterans. You know, I think with Ivisic, maybe you say he's a veteran. He still hasn't been in the country for a full year, but he's been through half a season, and he knows Cal, and he knows his system. And outside of that, you're going to get older players, Adu, Janelle Davis, guys that have been through wars in college basketball and experienced the highs and the lows. And, man, I mean, I don't think he'd ever put, at least in these last few years, a team like that together at Kentucky. So, I mean, if people were wondering, can this guy learn the portal? Can this guy learn, you know, putting a new team together? He's already made adjustments in how he's putting a team together. You don't just forget how to coach, right? Well, I think he's already shown in multiple years or multiple coaching stops that he can adjust to a new place. Not recruiting to these other places weren't always the same. I think he's already showing that he can be the chameleon, that he can make the adjustment if you need to. The roster, the way he's putting this team together is much different than he ever did at Kentucky.
Yeah, he's had success wherever he goes. You know, he's to last that long at Kentucky. He's pretty smart. 25 wins first year. I don't see any reason why. I mean, I'll say this. I don't think you'll have a losing record or a losing season when he's the head coach at Arkansas. I don't think there'll be one season goes by and it's one of those 15 and 17 type of years.
Well, and that makes sense to think about 25 wins. We still don't even know what the schedule's going to look like. We don't know who the non-conference opponents are. And the way that he's talking, it's like, well, you want to get the kind of opponents that draw CBS, that put you on the midday game on ESPN on a Saturday, that is a national game instead of regional. Even Arkansas, Oklahoma, while that was a great non-conference thing that they had going there for a few years, that still was more regional than national. With Cal as the head coach, you look at something like a Kansas or I don't know, UCLA or Duke. One of the programs he referred to would be playing in the Champions Classic.
Villanova,
Michigan State.
Yeah, Villanova, Indiana, Georgetown.
That's different than playing Oklahoma. That's
Michigan even. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, and well, we know what the conference opponents are, but we don't know how it all lays out. So, I mean, I'd like to say 25 wins, but I don't even know who they're playing yet.
Well, we don't know a lot of all that stuff, and we're just basing it on.
And I don't
Coach
even know
Cal.
what those teams look like either.
Right, we don't know anything about those teams. We're basing it on Coach Cal, and you're putting all your eggs in that basket, thinking that Coach Cal knows what he's doing, and you're trusting him. And that's what you have to. It's almost like you have to do that every year. You kind of because it's a recycle, and freshman's different now, Phil, because it's like you go get a kid that played, and we talked about this yesterday. It's like all the high schools now are like the Division IIs in the mid majors. That's kind of where you're picking out your guys. But I think you're right on. I don't think you want any more than 3 true freshmen on your team. If you're a high level, that kid from number 5 from UConn that I loved, and he was a true freshman, and he was the most athletic player. So if you're going to be a true freshman, you have to be special. You have to be able to do something and contribute in a special way, because you want the size and the veteranship. You want the maturity of a 22-year-old kid instead of an 18-year-old kid.
Got to be a Terra Galactico.
That's right.
That would be about right. 877-377-6963 calls or texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline, and yet 5 texts came in there a moment ago, all of them saying USC should be a non-conference home-and-home opponent. Probably have more of a chance of scheduling the Lakers than you do USC, to be quite honest. Back to wrap up hour number 1 of Halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, Sakale, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world.
Welcome back
I'm
into
Patrick from Woodland.
Live from the Crabtree
Read about
RV
it.
Studios. Crabtree RV
This
Center in
video
Alma,
is
where we
powered by
make
the
your
pros
dreams
at
come
Pascal
true.
Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. Go Pascal.com.
Janelle Davis had taken his name out of the draft. I don't think he took his name out of the draft, but I also think he didn't attend the combine, which he declined an invite to the combine. So I don't know. That kind of feels like maybe he's in the draft, but might not be expecting to go in the draft, and may want to come play at Arkansas anyway. So maybe coming to Arkansas will boost his stock a little bit.
I mean, I don't understand why you're scared of competition. You know, like what you think if you can't play at Arkansas, what makes you think you can play in the NBA? You know, if you can't play in the SEC, go out there and prove it, and go out there and do your thing.
Mentioned to my sister last night, we were on the phone. I brought her up on the show yesterday because of the potential demise of the Red Lobster Company. We're kind of acting like Red Lobster is going away. It's not going away. It's just going in bankruptcy. So a few of them, well, maybe not a few of them. It sounds like a lot of the restaurants are going away. And she had an experience at Red Lobster, I guess, over the last year or two that just sort of made it seem like it wasn't, it's nowhere near as good as it was when we were kids. But maybe everything feels like that. Maybe everything feels like it wasn't as good as when we were kids. But they didn't do endless shrimp back then either. Do you have a favorite chain restaurant? Because for so many people, that's the one.
When I was growing up, now that I'm 41, but when I was, let's say, college, Chili's, that's it's like, let's go to, you go to Chili's. They had that quesadilla explosion salad, dressing on the side. They had the chicken tenders, which they've changed over the years. They would change them, but and then how do you go wrong with a big cheeseburger and fries? Everyone, and they had that You get free chips and salsa. They had that skillet queso. Yeah, like in my youth, that was the spot.
Chili's was a place that when I worked in the lower minor leagues, they'd be like, all right, we can all afford come in here. Everybody can find something that makes you happy here. And they sell plenty of beer.
And yeah, it wasn't $8 a beer, right? Like it's reasonable. But I think always it was just whatever the local Mexico is. That's just that both my parents are. Well, I know my dad does, but mom's just goes, for the cheese.
I can
the
sit
cheese
in
dip.
Almost any hole in the wall.
That's
Mexican
it,
restaurant.
man. Mexican restaurants is yeah. And if they have the grocery store, the supermarket connected to it, even better.
Oh yeah, no kidding. The one that you always felt like in the minor leagues with baseball players, and maybe it was the same with a lot of athletes, but for some, I was just around baseball players, so that's the one that stood out. If you were around an Outback Steakhouse, like they would gravitate towards it, almost like they were getting sucked in, like it was a tractor beam.
That was on my phone for to-go orders. You knew it was 27 minutes away, like on your way home from work. It's like we'll call you call the Outback and they just pick it up. That's right.
Yeah, I mean you could see the drool just forming on the side of the mouth, and
so
it was like Pavlov's dog.
My senior year, we got and we started getting catered meals by Outback up there once a week on the team. And you want to talk about just everybody's just asleep trying to walk home.
Could they do endless coconut shrimp at
It's a
Outback?
buffet. Hey, they do it first class up there on the hill.
We're getting into the second hour of halftime in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's a party in the parking lot. Camping World with locations in Van Buren and Podo is the place to be. Take the summer off from payments, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. There will be special pricing for this parking lot event on new and used RVs, starting as low as $13,999. You can save up to 70% on select retail items. There's something for everybody, so come on out for the food and fun at the party in the parking lot. Both Camping World locations in Van Buren and Podo, May 16th through the 18th, and in Van Buren on the 19th.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, chance of showers, a few thunderstorms across the north. Our high temperatures today into the low 80s. We should see some sunshine further south, a high near 85. Chance of showers and thunderstorms returning tonight, overnight low into the low 60s, and then showers with a few thunderstorms Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Ask me if I'm all right.
Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Matt Jones may take it to the house. The dunk.
I said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moth at halftime.
Even one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime in hour number 2 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with Matt Jones, and the C-Unit producing. We'll be talking with Bob Holt in about 15 minutes from the Democrat Gazette. And let's see here. I was looking at the NFL schedule, not all of it, because it's a lot of games. Couldn't get through all of them. But did you see that not only do you have the Christmas games around that time, but you will have a real conflict. I mean, a conflict between college football and the NFL that I don't know if we've dealt with this. Was there a couple years ago, or was it last year, that there were playoff games on the same day, or college football playoff games on the same day as an NFL regular season weekend or the last weekend? Because you really try to avoid each other when it comes to this. But I feel like it might have happened before. But now there is a spot where the college football playoff, the first round, it'll be historic because it's the first round. It'll be that first Saturday, December 21st. 3 games are scheduled that Saturday. I think the first college football playoff game, and this is the first round, so it's campus sites, is the Friday night before, December 20th. And then you get the rest of them played the next day in a triple header. Well, these are good games, too, when you look at what the NFL threw onto the Saturday schedule. Houston at Kansas City, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. I mean, you get one of the hottest young quarterbacks in C.J. Stroud against Kansas City and Mahomes and all of them. One of the great rivalries, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. By then, I guess that's the third to last week. So that's a really important AFC North matchup, and it collides right with the first weekend and historic day of college football, in which all of us will be wanting to watch all 3 of these games.
Well, in my experience, it doesn't usually pan out very well for the NFL. These games, that's why they've started doing the flex scheduling. Something happens, injuries, whatever. So you don't know. Maybe 1 or 2 of those games matter that they have right there. But in being a division game, yeah. But a lot of times, injuries, everything that goes on to it. That game, when the season comes out, you're like, oh, that's a big game. Then sometimes one of those teams aren't even going to make the playoffs.
I think if one of these 2 teams were to fall off, Pittsburgh or Baltimore, I would probably guess it'd be Pittsburgh that would have the fall off. But it's rare that game in mid to late December ends up. It always means something. And Kansas City, they're going to be just fine. Like they could half of their starting offensive lineup could end up with an injury, and if it's not Patrick Mahomes, I'm not going to believe that by that point they're going to be out. Houston, maybe. I don't know. Who knows what goes on with them, but they'll be better than they were last year.
If C.J. Stroud's healthy, they're going to be fine. If Lamar Jackson's healthy, they're going to be fine. Now Pittsburgh, on the other hand, I don't know. Russell Wilson, he's trying to escape those. Forget about the Denver years. I wonder. I wonder how it's going to go in Pittsburgh. And then you got Jalen Hurts. Is that who's your guy from Chicago that's the backup with them?
Oh, you got Justin Fields. As the
Yeah,
backup.
Justin Fields. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's learning. He's trying to figure it out. I have Pittsburgh going about 500 again this year. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to all of a sudden win 13 games.
Well, for me, I mean, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm going to want to watch that game. I don't know. I mean, probably by then there'll be a women's basketball game scheduled too, so I won't be able to watch any of them.
Fair
I'm
enough.
calling the game instead. But I mean, that's a day where I would love to watch the Steelers, but it's also like I can get the idea of flipping back and forth and everything, but I don't want to miss anything too. Put something up on the iPad, throw something up on the TV. I know we can watch 2 or 3 things at the same time. It's just now you have direct competition between primetime matchups in the NFL that will have something to do potentially of deciding a division championship right in there with an historic weekend of college football where we finally have playoffs on campus sites. Like that's a week. Who knows what you see? You could see Notre Dame. It's like I mentioned with Bill yesterday. You can watch Notre Dame playing at Notre Dame Stadium in mid to late December on their own field. Michigan. I don't think Michigan will get there this year. Ohio State maybe.
They're going to be.
They'll probably get a bye.
Yeah.
They end up getting a bye. So, there'll be SEC schools at that point too that are playing. There'll be 1 or 2 of them that are playing at home that weekend. And I just would think, I don't know, it's just interesting to see these, to see the NFL going up against college football exactly like that.
Is that you that A&M and opens with Notre Dame and game day is going to be there this year?
That's right.
Yeah,
At
that's
that
going to be a
stadium
big
that I'm looking at right over there.
Elko. Let's go, the Fighting Elkos.
Let's go to Eduardo the Sherpa, who joins us right now on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Eduardo, I would usually ask if you're hiking up Petty Jean right now, but man, I'm looking at Kyle Field, and Kyle Field looks like it's about as tall as Petty Jean. That's the tallest structure in the entire city here in College Station. What's new, Eduardo?
Man, I'm feeling good. I woke up this morning craving the recipe. I could smell it there at Bluebell Park. You know this. Tonight, over the decades, I've seen a lot of athletes play for the U of A in our baseball, football, and our basketball. Write a story. And tomorrow morning when we wake up, the story is going to be written. And Hagen Smith is going to read like this. I can see it. I can read it now, gentlemen. It's this. Hagen Smith shuts down the Aggie. He beats the Aggie Nation, and the Aggie Nation, Coach, what's his name? Jim Chattanel. He's going to feed him a big bowl of hot pitching mojo. And he's going to feed him the recipe. And I believe it as I'm speaking right now, because that arm of his, it's special, man. Just look at your co-host sitting next to you. He wrote a story when I was in the Rock, and he let that ball rip to beat the Bengals. And I closed my eyes just for a second. And then it was a touchdown, and we beat the Bengals and sent them packing. You know what? And tomorrow morning, we're going to meet SEC Western Division champions in the toughest division in college baseball. How about that?
Sounds good, Eduardo. I wish I was able to hear the things you were saying, but something's up with our system, and I couldn't hear what he said. So that just means my ears aren't ringing.
Little bowl of hog mojo.
Usual stuff.
Yeah, we got. I do like that we're finding out the recipe. There's some tartar sauce that we know goes in the Hog Delight.
Did he mention tartar sauce on the call right there?
Well, yesterday he did. And
Yeah.
but we in the Hog Delight, Hog Mojo. We got to the bottom. So I think little by little we'll figure out what goes in a bowl of Hog Delight.
Well, for this series against A&M, I would think the recipe probably has to deal with not walking guys, especially when you're talking about ahead of some of their power hitters. Those power hitters being Braden Montgomery and Jace Lavalette and Gavin Grijalvic, who's a freshman who's hit 18 home runs. It's a dangerous lineup, man. This is probably the most dangerous lineup that Arkansas has faced this year. I wouldn't say they have power all throughout the batting order because it's really just concentrated amongst 3 players. But what they all do is they pretty much all find ways to get on base. And if the wrong hitter is set up with a couple of men on base and the wrong pitch is thrown, yeah, you can be in some trouble. And that, that's the thing that potentially could get Hagen Smith in trouble today. If you want to shake up your confidence in him at all, the walks have been there a little bit too much of late. And even a Hagen Smith fastball can get squared up. If there's a couple of men on base, that can be a problem. So I hope that we don't see Hagen walk guys, because it's happened more in the SEC than it's happened out of the SEC. He walked only 7 batters non-conference. He's walked 22 in 54 innings in conference games. So that's a little bit higher than I guess you'd usually like to see. It's just they still don't make much contact against him. So, and take advantage of the opportunities to score when it happens. That's another thing I'm interested in seeing, because they put together good at-bats last weekend. Does it translate to going on the road where the Razorbacks are hitting .217 and averaging just under 4.5 runs per game? So, and A&M is, look, I think a lot of teams are different home and road in college baseball. A&M is certainly one of them. 30-2 playing at home, 9-8 playing on the road. All right, we've got Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette in just a moment. Remember Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farm, providing every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Doctors Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer helping all their patients have a better life with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Same-day crowns also available right now at Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A, right there at the entrance to to Riley Farm off Highway 71. 226-3500, RileyFarmDental.com, and we're back for more halftime after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Okay, Arkansas, you asked, we answered. The Natural State Jackpot now draws 7 days a week. Woohoo! That means bigger, faster growing jackpots and more winning. Best of all, a ticket is still just $1. Match 2 numbers or more and you're a winner. Match all 5 and you're a jackpot winner. Feeling lucky? Play the Natural State Jackpot today in stores or online. Good luck, Arkansas. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
It's a party in the parking lot. Camping World with locations in Van Buren and Podo is the place to be. Take the summer off from payments, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. There will be special pricing for this parking lot event on new and used RVs, starting as low as $13,999. You can save up to 70% on select retail items. There's something for everybody, so come on out for the food and fun at the party in the parking lot at both Camping World locations in Van Buren and Podo, May 16th through the 18th, and in Van Buren on the 19th.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with a unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brett, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions and rapier wit.
Hey, John, did I add a 2-parter if that's okay? What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that hip. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets, that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about this?
Sure, Bob. The future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys.
All guests join us on the McLarty Daniel hotline, and that's where we have Bob Holt with us right now. Bob, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm great. Great to hear from you. So you've got a really good friend there over here with Matt Jones. And I'll tell you, Dave Van Horn feel the exact same way about the disappearance of divisions in the SEC, and that definitely stood out with Dave talking to you guys yesterday.
Yeah, it happened in football. They did away with divisions in men's basketball. It's been a long time. I guess they felt like it wasn't evenly distributed because the East was better than the West or something. And, I don't know why. I get your ad in Oklahoma and Texas, and the league's going from 14 to 16. But, I mean, in 92 when Arkansas and South Carolina came in, they had 6-team divisions. Then, what was it, 2012 or 2013? I think it was 2013 when Missouri and A&M were added. And then so divisions went from 6 to 7. I don't know why you couldn't add Oklahoma and Texas and you have 2 8-team divisions. Now, they're both geographically in the West, but I mean, in the major leagues, how many years did the Atlanta Braves play in the NL West? I think the Falcons played in the NFL in the NFC West for a while. I mean, I guess if you were Atlanta and you got added kind of late in the deal expansion-wise, they stuck you in the West. I don't know, but you could move Auburn over maybe, or you could put Oklahoma in the East or whatever. But yeah, I think Dave's right. You have more competition with the divisions, more races. It's more exciting. And so I don't know why they have to have one. I just think one 16-team league just seems so boring, And because who wants to? It's bad enough if you're finishing 7th or 8th, right? Who wants to finish 15th or 16th? So, but Dave says not like he had a few allies, but not nearly enough. And so yeah, so this will be the last West title up for grabs in College Station this weekend.
Well, it's like you feel like something is definitely up for grabs this weekend. It'd be different. So either of these teams could finish in 2nd place in the SEC. But battling for 2nd place doesn't have the same excitement level as trying to win a division, finishing in 1st in something. Battle for 2nd place is never going to feel like that.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, sometimes teams like in pros, they might be battling for a playoff spot, and obviously in college, you're battling for a regional spot, and that's subjective by a selection committee. I think we all know A&M and Arkansas are in the in-state tournament. They're going to host regionals, probably both host super regionals if they advance. But yeah, I think it's great to play. And I don't mean like it needs to be Little League, and not to put down Little League, but I don't know. Not everybody should get a participation trophy. Well, but can the SEC not afford an East and a West trophy and an overall, or whatever? I mean, I don't know. I think the more things you can win, the better. And like I say, they don't need to make it ridiculous. I don't know if Dave mentioned, like maybe 4 team. I remember when they talked about football, they talked about these 4-team pods, and I thought that was kind of intriguing. But yeah, I don't know why. It seems like the pros are going to more divisions, right? I mean, they went from having 2 divisions to now they're having 3 divisions and had wild cards and all this stuff. And so I think the pros get it. The more quote races there are, the more excitement, the more fans that want to come to your games, and the more concessions you sell, T-shirts, whatever. And I think they figured that out a long time ago. I mean, when I was a kid, you had, I think it was 8 teams in each league. You had the National League winner played the American League winner, and that was cool. But then they went to divisions in '69, I think, and that was even more exciting because then you had the playoffs and you had the championship series, then you had the World Series. So now you have a lot of rounds of playoffs, and yeah. So I don't know why the college administrators or the SEC administration feel like divisions are bad, but obviously they're doing away with divisions basically in everything.
Hey Bob, I'm excited about Gage Wood starting this second game, or whenever the second game is. What are your thoughts on that? How do you expect that? I think it's going to be good things for the team.
Yeah, you can see it coming. Dave indicated a couple of weeks ago he was getting ready to take somebody's job, and then Mason Molina, he's had some really good starts, but obviously of late he's really struggled. Brady Tigers, very talented pitcher. He's pitched well out of the bullpen in the past, so maybe that's, where he can help. There's one thing about, Gage pitched twice against Mississippi State and last weekend. Well, he's not going to pitch twice if he's starting a game. So if you take him out of the bullpen, then you got to have somebody else hopefully take his place. And so that could be Brady. Maybe you try to get Mason Molina straightened out and in short relief or something. Yeah, Gage Wood, he's been coming on. He had, getting out of that was Houdiniac, right? Getting out of that bases loaded, no outs a jam against Mississippi State. I mean, you figure he's got a 2-run lead, so he's got a little bit of wiggle room, but he didn't give up anything, That was really amazing. He had a good start against Missouri State, which has a decent hitting lineup, I think, And that was his very first start, and clearly they've been trying to lengthen him out a little bit. And he could be a starter next year, And so, yeah, I'm anxious to see how he does in the role, because it's one thing to have a start at home against Missouri State, which is a solid program. It's a whole different deal to do it down at A&M with all those crazy fans that Dave Van Horn alluded to. And so, yeah, I think we know what we're going to get with Hagen Smith. He's going to give you 6 innings or more. I know he only gave him 5 last week. Wow, how terrible. He had the guy to start. Most coaches would love a guy to have, or a guy would like to have, and I guess that was his quote subpar start. But I think he'll bounce back and have his usual strong start, and then give Arkansas a good shot to win that game. And then what can Gage Wood do in game 2? So yeah, I'm anxious. I'm like you. I'm anxious to see what he can do, because it is a new role for him, and it's a high stakes game. So if he's a guy that's going to help you in the postseason, this isn't a regional or the College World Series or whatever, but it's a pretty high stakes game. So you're going to find out a lot about how this guy does in pressure situations, I think.
Well, when you take somebody out of one situation that has been an important role, and whatever Gage's role has been, and he's had a few of them in the last few times out, it's been really important. Someone's got to step into another role in the bullpen, or just have somebody that hasn't really had too many opportunities to pitch in some pressure moments, like a Cooper Dossett maybe. You just, if you got Gage replacing somebody as a starter, well, then you got to have somebody that takes the innings that he was pitching in relief.
Yeah, and like I said, that's a role Brady Tigert has done well in, and so I don't know. It sounds like the plan is obviously Hagen. He hopefully gives you his usual really good start, and then Gage Wood pitches, and then depending on, but Dave's right. I mean, Arkansas needs, obviously they want to win the series, they want to sweep, whatever, but they got to win one game to win the West. So they're going to go all out to win, however many guys they got to throw. I keep wanting to say Friday night, tonight, although with Hagan, it's usually Hagan and maybe one or two other guys, and then, but it depends. I don't know if you say Brady Tiger for Sunday. I mean, if I think Brady Tiger can help me win, closing a game for Thursday or Friday or whatever, I use him. And I think that's how Dave and probably most coaches look at it. You win the game in front of you, especially when you got to win one to clinch the West, and then you kind of go on from there. And then you see who's left, and maybe on Saturday, you bullpen it. They do have a lot of arms to throw. And but yeah, so somebody's going to have to fill in. If Gage is going to be a starter moving forward for SEC tournament, regional, whatever, and he's a huge bullpen piece, then somebody else has got to do it. And Mason Molina, I think he might have pitched a little bit in relief as a freshman, but he was a starter last year. He's been a starter this year, so that's where the SEC tournament to me could be big for him, because if you're Arkansas or anybody that's pretty well set up, you think, well, geez, going to Hoover is just kind of a pain, right? Some games you got to get through. What you went in and Hoover can't really help you, and all you're going to do is tire out your pitching. But maybe that's a place where Mason Molina can get a start and try to get straightened out. I mean, I know you want to win the games, but I certainly would not throw Hagen Smith a lot in Hoover. I'd have him on a very limited pitch count, and if Gage is your guy, him too. But maybe that's a place where Mason Molina can get a start and kind of try to figure some things out, or he can pitch in the bullpen, whatever. But, yeah, you're right. It's going to be interesting to see how this affects the bullpen.
Hey, Bob, defensively, how has this team looked the last couple series and going forward? Is there any room for improvement on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, they've been a good defensive team all year. I think they're I don't know, it's off the top of my head. I was looking it up yesterday. Me and Tom Murphy were talking about it. But Arkansas's fielding percentage is .982, which is really, really good. It's like in the top 10 nationally, and Mississippi State's just a little bit ahead of them there in the SEC. Like you got to take out the four digits, like a batting race or something. But I do think the last couple of weeks, it's not like they made a bunch of errors, but there's some plays. Now, of course, you think of the running diving catch that Peyton Holt made, and Jared Sprague-Lotz made some really good plays over there at first or third, and Peyton Stovall makes a lot of good plays at second. But I can think of a few plays here and there where I think it's not an error, maybe that's a hit, but that's a play that they normally would make. Mm-hmm. So I think they could tighten up their defense a little bit. They're certainly a really good defensive team. Most of the season, they frankly have been elite defensively, and the statistics back that up. But I do think they could be a little bit sharper, even, the Peyton Holt highlight plays aside.
Well, there's the guy that I wanted to ask about. So I think someone had asked about to Dave, where would you be without Hagen Smith? And I think that's fairly easy to look at. And I don't know if they'd be where they are anywhere close to it. But Peyton Holt, without Peyton Holt, you would have a completely destabilized outfield. Just think, he's hit 4 home runs. 3 of them have been for either a tie game in the 9th inning or a late lead. And when there's needed energy, he's been the one who's provided energy, and it's always been through big moments. So, look, the infield has certainly done a lot of the producing, but I don't know where this team would be without Peyton Holt.
Yeah, it's amazing what I think he played a little bit outfield at Crowder Community College, but he didn't play any outfield last year for the Razorbacks. I think he played 1 game in right field. He's, an infielder by trade. He's a guy that can play second, third, probably can play short, probably can play first. I think he was their emergency catcher at times. It would have been interesting. Maybe there was some game like they were playing somebody that they knew they were going to beat real bad. There was a guy when I was a kid growing up named Cesar Tovar who played for the Twins, and he played all 9 positions one game late in the season when it was the pennant race was over or whatever. But if anybody could Google Cesar Tovar. But Peyton, they put him in center, which is premium defensive position, and he's made some great plays out there. Think about it. In center field, he's made 2 plays against Florida and Mississippi State that were top 10 on the ESPN, Sports Center. And he's made other really good plays too. And he's a guy that really is an outfielder by trade. And not only is he, okay or adequate, he's been really good. And I know Wilmsmeyer's their best outfielder defensively, but Peyton Holt's been right up there, and not just making great plays physically, but really good plays mentally, like the deep play against Florida. And he's brought a lot of excitement to that lineup, like say driving in runs with home runs, but he's batting leadoff. He's got really good speed. I mean, who doesn't like seeing him fly around the bases with his helmet flying off, and then he picks up his helmet with a double, his helmet flew off and he picked it up and he holds it like a football. He does the Heisman pose. And of course he was a quarterback at Greenwood, I think. And so, I don't think you go up to the plate thing. I'm going to hit a double and my helmet's going to fall off and then I'm going to do the Heisman pose. I just think that's a spontaneous thing and I'm sure I know the fans went crazy if they noticed it. We were going crazy in the press box, but hey, he did the Heisman pose. Can you believe that? It was just a really cool thing. And then the thing that I thought was really interesting, I saw this on video where after he hit the go-ahead home run against Mississippi State, he goes to the dugout. Of course, the dugout's going crazy, and he passes Dave Van Horn, and Dave doesn't even react. I guess that's just being Mr. Cool as a cucumber or whatever. And I thought that was funny. But yeah, Peyton Holt has brought lots of energy, lots of offense, defense, just everything. He's been a super duper catalyst for these guys.
Bob, we'll leave it there. Thanks for your time. We'll be reading you in the Democrat Gazette.
Okay, you guys take care.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
Bob Holt with the Democrat Gazette with us each Thursday here on Halftime. Hey, don't forget about the Booyah Mobster. It's been winning all the tournaments on Lake Dardanelle and Kerr Lake. The Booyah Mobster is the hottest swimming jig on the Arkansas River right now. When you're fishing submerged or matted grass, make sure the Booyah Mobster is with you. You're going to reel them in. You'll find it at LearNet.com and tackle stores all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. You can call us. You can text us. The McLarty Daniel hotline open as we go into the next segment, 877-377-6963. We'll be right back.
This is Halftime.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-532-4724. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-532-4724. That's 800-532-4724. Again, 800-532-4724.
This is Halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You always get what you want, and you don't even try. Your friends hate it when it's always good. You're right, and I'm glad that you got luck on your side. You say definitely maybe, I'm saying probably no. You say you sleep really dead, I'm scared of doing it in my sleep. I guess that's not a bad way to go.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Still getting a little darker by the minute here in College Station, Matt. It was just, while we had Bob on the phone, I had the enjoyment of watching. It looked like, I guess, the entire, or part of, I don't know how large their grounds crew is, but, you know, the field here at A&M is mostly natural surfaces. They do have a little bit of artificial turf around the plate area, not the circle, but just around where the batters will walk up. That's the only spot that's got artificial turf here. But they're all down there. They're getting the field ready. They've got their A&M logo painted on the outfield, and 4 or 5 of them were looking at their phones in a way that I can identify, because there's they weren't texting, they weren't scrolling through any social media. They were on the weather app. I zoomed in. I mean, I got my binoculars with me so I could see. Every one of them is on their weather app. So I'm just waiting for them to get the tarp on the field at some point. It hasn't happened yet.
Yep, that's when you know it's for real. That's when it's serious.
Yeah, I think it'll be serious. Let's take a couple of calls. We got Brent in Searcy up first. He's on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Brent. What's up?
What's up, Phil? What's up, Matt?
Yo.
Hi.
Hey, Phil, are y'all staying at the Marriott like the last time I went to A&M to a baseball series? I believe that's where we stayed.
I don't know where the team is staying. That's not where I am. They're still building a bunch of hotels here. That is already a huge school, and they must be anticipating it getting larger because they're still building a bunch of stuff in College Station.
Hey, I enjoyed your interview with Bob Holtz today, and I was also enjoying Coach Van Horn's interview on Facebook. Yes, not Facebook, on YouTube yesterday. He told us the name of his grandchildren. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I got one thing to say about this. The Hogs will definitely take care of business this weekend. And you're worried about no divisions in baseball or anything like that, and I am too. I don't like it. But you give Greg Sankey a chance to mess something up, and he will, because he is the commissioner that still allows Mark Curls to be calling college football games.
Wait, what was the last part there, Brent? I missed it.
Greg Sankey is the commissioner that still allows Mark Curls to be calling college football
Mark
games.
Curls. Okay, yeah. Mark Curls.
So
yeah,
anyway, they can.
There's got to be other aspects of running a league.
Well, I got a question since about that. Who will go to the SEC tournament next year?
I think everybody makes it. I think the format changes. I don't remember everything about it, but I'm pretty sure all 16 will make it next year. But there could be, and so everybody's guaranteed at least playing in Hoover. I just think that there may be 2 single elimination rounds. I got to double check on it, but yeah, the conference tournament does change where now, and I guess it's been for the last 15, 20 years or so, that the worst 2 conference records don't make it to Hoover. Going forward next year, everybody makes it.
I got a suggestion to that. Why don't we just take the top 8 teams to Hoover?
Well, I mean, I understand. I mean, I would understand reasoning for doing something like that. It's just, I think they want to have a certain amount of inventory for TV partners. All of these games are televised on SEC Network, so they take. I mean, I think that's pretty important to the league overall. And another aspect too is if you only take 8, if you only take half of 16, you're going to end up with a potential national contender that doesn't even make Hoover, because teams 9 and 10 in the SEC, sometimes they actually go pretty deep in the NCAA tournament. So I don't think they'll go to 8. And right now, it doesn't sound like they're in the mood to exclude anybody.
So, depending on how this weekend goes, when would the Razorbacks play in Hoover? Do you know that yet?
Well, it all depends on they win a game, then you're guaranteed the division championship, which means that the earliest you would play would be the second game Wednesday, and the best you could do would be playing the third game Wednesday. So that's what it looks like. You're still in a position where they need a win in order to get a first-round bye or a loss from Georgia. So they're not guaranteed of getting out of Tuesday yet, but one win or a loss by Georgia guarantees you're into the double elimination on Tuesday. Brent, it's good to hear from you. Thank you very much. Let's go to Big Keith. He's next on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Big Keith, how you doing?
Big Keith up in the house. What's going on, Matt? How you doing, Phil? Hey, I agree with you all, but they're going to play as many games as they can. They want to make that money, you know what I mean? And I also think not having divisions suck. I mean, I think they're going to change it after 1 or 2 years. I think because it's just stupid. I don't like it. And then here's my question for you guys: do you think when we go to play for the SEC championship, do you think they'll pitch miss the first game or let them play the second?
Well, I think part of it depends upon if today's game is played. I think they probably would keep him to 7 days or a regular 6-day rest. So I think there's the chance that if you play tomorrow, maybe they hold him off to Friday. But that would also depend on whether or not you win Wednesday, because I'm pretty sure they'd still want Hagan to pitch next week at some point. You start your series, you make it to Wednesday, you're guaranteed 2 games. You win Wednesday, you're guaranteed to play Thursday and potentially Saturday. Now, I don't think they'd pitch him Saturday, because then maybe he doesn't pitch next Friday. It's just there's so many different scenarios here. But I know he won't pitch Wednesday. It could be Thursday, could be Friday.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him pitching later, because the longer you hold him, the more tougher the team's going to be that we're going to be facing. So I'd rather have him go up against a harder team than win the first one. So, but anyways, I'm calling 2 out of 3 at Texas A&M.
You mean wins? You didn't say win or loss.
They're going to win 2 out of 3.
Okay. Okay. Well, that would also mean that A&M loses as many games in these next 3 days as they've lost for the entire season up until now. Not saying it can't happen. Not saying it's not going to happen. It's just they're 30-2 at home. So it would be, I wouldn't say it's an upset because Arkansas's already won a couple of tough road series. Big Keith, it's good to hear from you. Matt, we got more people that agree about the divisions. And look, I understand the reasoning why the SEC isn't doing divisions for football, because you don't want to feel like, there's a champion out of a weaker division that can't hang with a champion out of one division. I still like the divisions, though. With baseball, I don't get it at all. We haven't had divisions in basketball for a long time. Heck, that's been over 10 years. So I'm kind of used to that by now. But for 30 games, for a 30-game conference schedule to be going 1 through 16, I don't see the sense behind it. In fact, I think it would have made more sense to go to 4-team divisions in baseball and make sure you play everybody in your division and you feel like you're playing for something. But they obviously Dave Van Horn's vote didn't get weighted by the amount of years he's been a coach here at the SEC.
Yeah, they're just kind of making it up as they go along. They just give me. That's what it kind of.
But what is it that they're taking? Where's the money going? I don't think it's a matter of money here. It's not like it just doesn't seem like it has anything to do with it. They just did it in football, so they did it in baseball too. But this was it sounds like it was a vote by the coaches. They must have had their reasoning. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Baseball is a division sport. It's not meant to be, just 1 through 16. Could you imagine if you did that in Major League Baseball? At least now, it's like I sometimes wonder why we have divisions in the NBA, because you go by conference standings. You get a champion's a champion of the division. I guess they get certain.
And they've watered that down a little bit too. Yeah.
But the rest of the matchups are done through the conference standings. I think it's the same thing in the NHL. It's done through conference standings. So I don't know why you're doing divisions at that point. With baseball, at least it makes a little bit of sense. Division champions, get to move on. The top team with the league gets the bye to the next round and everything. And I don't know. It doesn't make any sense where we're not doing divisions in the SEC for baseball. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. You got any thoughts about that? We're back up to wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment on Halftime.
This is Halftime.
There's nothing like Old Fort Days Rodeo Week, May 27th through June the 1st. Heart-pounding action. Cowboys and cowgirls leaving it all on the dirt. Wrangler wants you at the Old Fort Days Rodeo. Looking like a champ. Spend $75 or more on Wrangler apparel and receive a free Old Fort Days Rodeo ticket voucher. So plan on heading out to the Old Fort Days Rodeo. But first, stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, and gear up. Now let's rodeo. Wrangler, long live Cowboys.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hello, this is Mike Giacomo at Arvest Bank, inviting you to join us in the fight against hunger during Arvest's 14th annual Million Meals campaign. All the money goes directly to our communities, and there is no amount too small. Even just $1 provides 5 meals to those in need. Now, through the end of the month, you can easily make a monetary contribution at your nearest Arvest branch. You can also donate online at arvest.com/millionmeals. And if you're an Arvest customer, you can go directly to Arvest Go mobile app. Arvest makes no representation that any contribution is tax deductible. Please consult your tax advisor.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Words disappear. Words once so clear. Only echoes passing through the night. Lines on my face, your fingers once trace, fading reflection of what was.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Jace from Lowell said he thinks that a lot of the growth here in College Station has to do with them hosting World Cup events. The World Cup is coming here when? It's 2 years, right, Matt?
2026.
2026. I didn't think that College Station was hosting matches, but they do have. I looked this kind of neat. June 8th at that giant football stadium right across from the train tracks, there is a Mexico versus Brazil soccer match, part of Mexico's tour through the United States in promotion for the World Cup, I guess. And some of the other games they're playing are at Soldier Field, at Mile High, at the Rose Bowl, and at AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play, and at Kyle Field.
How cool. Yeah. You never know the friendlies and the tune-ups. You never know what, the players that are going to play. It's kind of like a preseason gig. But the talent, the talent on Brazil's second team is as good as USA's first team. Brazil's got that's a juggernaut, so to speak. The Brazil, man, that's the real deal.
the release. Well, I guess this is the Texas A&M newspaper when they wrote about this. Said that they could potentially break the Mex Tour attendance record, which was set in 2010 at the Rose Bowl Stadium, 90,526. Kyle Field holds over 100,000. Pretty sure about that, or at least close enough to it. That is a behemoth of a football stadium. I've never been inside because I've been doing the pregame show for football for 3 years, so it's always at AT&T. So I like Reed Arena's okay. I like Bluebell Park. It's okay. It's one of those ballparks that looks prettier on the outside than on the inside. But they're about to put, I think they're putting $60-some million into the baseball park. So maybe the next time we come here, and who knows the next time we come here because the schedule's changing so dramatically, that stadium's going to look quite a bit different. Hey, Matt, whether it's their second teamers or not, that sounds like it could actually be a pretty fun kind of an event. Put 100,000 people in a stadium. Like I'm not that into soccer. I don't really care much about auto
Be
racing.
first teamers.
I'm not big into horse racing, but hey, you go to the big events, 100,000 people at Daytona, more than that, however many you fit into Churchill Downs, going to a soccer match at Kyle Field when I don't have to worry about getting spit on because you're wearing something that's got the Razorbacks on it. I think that'd be, I don't know. But something tells me on June 8th, there might be something else that we're worried about other than coming here for that. June 8th is a Saturday. It would be a potential super regional. Hopefully at Baumwalker.
Yeah, you got Vinicius Jr. He's Real Madrid Galactico. Richarlison. Oh my goodness, Rafinha. Yeah, there's so many, man. There's so many. Rodrigo. You're amazing when it's just one. I don't even know if Neymar's on the Brazilian team anymore. He tore his ACL over in the Saudi league, and he was there. But it's a changing of the guard now.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline as it continues to get darker here in College Station. And they did cover up the pitcher's mound, and they did cover up the home plate area, and those grounds crew people are still staring at their phones. Of course. I don't know if we're playing or not, but maybe we'll have a better idea in about 3 to 4 hours would be my guess. Halftime into hour number 3 right after this.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crickhopper.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. We work to design an insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter Insurance ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region 5 out of the last 6 years by J.D. Power. Satisfied customers and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
See Agent Jason Hill in Greenwood or Agent Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, chance of showers, a few thunderstorms across the north. Our high temperatures today into the low 80s. We should see some sunshine further south, a high near 85. Chance of showers and thunderstorms returning tonight, overnight low into the low 60s, and then showers with a few thunderstorms Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Streaming on hitthatline.com.
You got a team in here that would respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime into our third hour on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson at a rapidly darkening Bluebell Park in College Station, Texas. Matt Jones and the C Unit back at our ESPN Arkansas headquarters. Talk with Brett Dolan in about 15 minutes. Matt, Muss had a photo yesterday that he tweeted. I think it was from USC's practice facility, and he had former Razorback Adrio Bailey there with him. And Adrian was wearing a USC shirt. And there's some folks who were upset about that because he's a Razorback, and I think he only played for Arkansas. I don't think Adrio played for anybody else. But he also played for Muss. So, hey, I mean, you can support your alma mater and your former coach at the same time if they're at different places, right?
I would think so. I mean, when Arkansas played Ole Miss down there when Houston Nutt was the coach, you're pulling for Arkansas, but you want Coach Nutt to do well. I think there's still that relationship that you have. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have any problem with him wearing a USC shirt. I mean, that's his guy.
Well, it's like also, would you have an issue if any of Cal's former players, and they want to go visit the old coach and see what his new digs are like?
Do you think if
Would you have an issue with that at all?
Do you think if John Wall came back to see a practice that he would wear a Razorback shirt, or do you think he would wear a Kentucky shirt or wherever he plays? Yeah, or what about SGA? Didn't he play for Cal at Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
What you think he would wear? See, I don't know. It's just kind of.
You could just put on the shirt that says the coach's name. So I played for this guy. This is my guy here.
That's my guy. Yeah.
That's what I felt like I saw when I saw the photo of Adrio wearing the USC stuff. Like at first I saw Muss's tweet, I saw the caption, and I thought, oh, that's nice. I hadn't thought of Adrio Bailey in a while, and I always enjoyed watching him suit up for the Razorbacks. But then I look at the photo and I thought, yeah, maybe that looks a little bit different, him wearing the USC stuff. But then it also hit me, like it's part of this conversation we've been having for so long. Yeah, you went to play at that school, but you also played for that coach. And not every guy that played for a coach is going to think, yeah, I want to go see my guy and see what his new digs are like. But I didn't have a problem with that. For him wearing the USC shirt, to me, was more just like saying, yeah, I'm in Muss's corner no matter what. But I guess now we got to see a photo of him wearing a Razorback shirt.
Well, does he live out west? Is he kind of in his backyard? Because I'm sure if he lived in Springdale or Bentonville or Rogers and went to a practice, and when he was the coach at Arkansas, he'd wear a Razorback shirt. But I wonder if he doesn't live out there and was just kind of in the area.
Yeah, I don't know what it is he's doing these days.
Yeah.
But he's from Louisiana, so. But I mean, hey, it's a pretty big city. I think a lot of people just end up going to Los Angeles for this reason or that reason. Anyway, that was just one thing that stood out. Did you see the contract Jared Goff signed?
I don't know the parameters of it as far as that, but I did see it was a 4-year extension, 118 million maybe. I guess that's the
212 million.
212 4 years.
Average of 53 million a year, and I think he gets a pretty chunky signing bonus on top of it. $73 million signing bonus. Wow.
Woo.
Yeah, that would be a very quiet Ric Flair woo.
Where is he on the totem pole if you're talking NFL quarterbacks? Is he right outside the top 10, or do you have him in? Is he like 8? Do you have him in the top 10?
I guess I'd put him in the top 10. I mean, he's had a couple of pretty good years there with Detroit, and the other aspect too, it's like, so there you could say what he is against every other quarterback, but what is it that he means to that team? It seems to me.
What's he, year 9, year 10 right now?
He's entering his 9th year.
So that's a perfect contract for them. Then you're getting him. His brain power, as much as that you've been watching, everything should be about in tune. Where they say you start to lose a little bit once you figure it out, like you lose a little bit of your athletic ability. Right now, it should be 9th year being an NFL quarterback. His talent wise, what he's learned, that's who you want. This should be his peak prime years, these next 4 years, if he can stay healthy.
Right, and to ensure that there's no controversy that goes along with, a guy that's playing in the last year of his contract, when you're in this window that Detroit is in, where they, potentially can get to a Super Bowl finally.
I thought they should have. What were they up 24 on San Fran, or they were up 17 at one point, and then I thought they had just as good a chance last year as making it. Yeah.
But it's just like, look, so you get the Falcon situation, and I mean, I've heard all the reasons why they signed Penix, and some of that does make a lot of sense. But for a team that is trying to capitalize on a window with a lot of talent, and you got an experienced veteran quarterback who has never really made a deep run, there's almost built-in controversy, I think, if things don't start off very well. Even for Cousins, with the amount of money that he signed for, and that he's their guy, people be looking for that, for that controversy with a backup that's got a big name because he's a first rounder. With Detroit, I mean, it's a different situation, but I'd be fans, maybe Goff himself, be worried about the next contract and playing a certain way so that you maximize what that contract will look like whenever your agent sits down with him. Now they don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it at all. You've kept him happy. You've got a roster around him to keep him happy too. There's sticker shock to a contract that's like that, but this also means that I don't know when Mahomes' contract is up, but whenever it is up, if you're talking about Jared Goff, who is a good NFL quarterback, making $53 million a year, what does the best in the game make at some point?
Well, he signed that contract 4 years ago, I think, as far as Patrick Mahomes. It was a $300 million contract, but it's the salary cap is the thing, Phil. It went up like 6%. Like it took one of the biggest jumps that it had taken in a while. And so that's where I think that's why the numbers maybe seem a little odd. But that's what's old Dak Prescott getting? He's getting 33 a year. I mean, he's got to be getting close. I mean, that's the going rate, I think, for a quarterback. If you got a good one, I think you got to, how Ohio State coach said a going rate for a quarterback in college, you had a good one's $1.5 million. I think it's $40 million. I think if you got a good quarterback in the NFL, you got one you believe in. I think that's what they get.
Mahomes is scheduled to make $45.75 million this year.
Yeah.
And then his contract lasts through 2032.
Yeah, he signed.
2033. It was a 10-year deal. Yeah,
$300 million at the time. Was that what it was, or was it even $500 million at the time? Yeah, he signed a big deal.
Well, and then it was a $450 million 10-year deal.
So they got a discount, is what you're saying. Patrick Mahomes is playing at it because of the cap keeps going up, and that's the thing. Do you renegotiate? Do you help the team out? They got money to go out and get other players. Yeah. So they got a steal getting Mahomes at that price.
Well, it's also the idea like what the Dodgers are paying Shohei Ohtani, because they're only paying him the value of the contract doesn't keep up with inflation. So they're paying him the $2 million a year now. Whenever the rest of the money kicks in, all the deferred money, it'll be at what money was worth in 2024, not what it's worth in 2034. And you can see the direction that's going in. And the other thing, like with Prescott, like that is going to be the overall conversation about the Cowboys this next year. You know, I mean, are you signing Dak? Are you not? Are you trading Dak? Are you not? It's the last year of his contract. And it'll last until he gets him to a Super Bowl this year or not, because that's the only thing that's going to save him, at least that's kind of the way it feels. All right, we got a break here, and Brett Dolan coming up in just a moment. Remember the best Tex-Mex, better service at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Tomorrow's Fajita Friday. It features charbroiled steak and chicken, tender, full of flavor, comes with all the extras. Saturdays for endless enchiladas. Gives you a Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef and chicken enchiladas you can eat at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, better service. They're at 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps in Fort Smith, joesfortsmith.com if you want to put in an order. Brett Dolan is on halftime right after this break.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on, skied in the left. That ball's hit pretty well, and it's gone! Brett Eibner's hit a home run, and the ball game's tied. Brett Eibner has hit a home run, and the ball game is tied. The Razorbacks down to their final out, and Eibner, for all his troubles this season, has just saved things.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Tommy Kraft here, live from the party in the parking lot at Camping World in Van Buren. Hey, this is where it's happening today. Getting ready for summer camping, and we got a party going on at Camping World. In fact, they're doing it at 2 locations. They're in Poteau, and they're here where we're at today in Van Buren. Come by and see us. The huge American flag, the big Razorback flag. You've seen it going up and down 40. You can't miss it. There's food, there's fun, and great pricing on the best selection of new and used RVs. In fact, their prices, I've been walking around, they start at $13,999. So you can be camping with your family for well under $15,000 before you leave here today at the party in the parking lot. Save up to 70% on select retail items. Save up to 15% on select RV services so you can get ready. Plus, take the summer off with no payments, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. Come see us at the party in the parking lot, Camping World on Alma Highway in Van Buren. We're live on ESPN 95.3.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
This is Chuck Fawcett with Chuck Fawcett Realty. When I have an HVAC problem or a plumbing problem, I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. Blaylock Heating and Air.
So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Need new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com.
It's a party in the parking lot. Camping World with locations in Van Buren and Podo is the place to be. Take the summer off from payments, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. There will be special pricing for this parking lot event on new and used RVs, starting as low as $13,999. You can save up to 70% on select retail items. There's something for everybody, so come on out for the food and fun at the party in the parking lot. Both Camping World locations in Van Buren and Podo, May 16th through the 18th, and in Van Buren on the 19th.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Don't hike, don't beat, don't walk, carry, don't fall from grace, we don't trip, sachet. Okay, sachet. Don't hit, don't play, don't snap, insane, don't rap, don't act your age, don't change your name. It's all the rage. Too fast, don't tell, don't laugh at too smile, don't have a glass, don't stay a while, don't take a pic. Don't feel so sick.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All guests join halftime on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Brett Dolan is there with us to talk some baseball, anything else we can dream up here. Brett, it's getting darker here in College Station by the minute. I don't know if we're playing today or not, but I'll be here until they tell me otherwise.
Well, I'd like to be there, and I may be there if you do play, but I'm just fearful this forecast is not going to be wrong, and leave it to the baseball gods to screw up, to me, what could be one of the more interesting storylines going in, maybe the best pitcher in college baseball against a team that might have the best all-around hitting. But and I hate doubleheaders. I know you're used to them, but I'd prefer they find a way to play or maybe push this series back, but I just don't know.
Yeah, your guess will be as good as mine. I think it'll depend on how long they're willing to wait because of rain and because of lightning, but we'll see. But you're right, too. I mean, this is a really difficult A&M lineup to maneuver through. And for one thing, like they're not just good, they're veterans. You know, guys that have been around college baseball for a long time, but also have tried to, transferred up to see what they could do at this level, like a Jackson Appel, who was at Penn previously, or an Ali Camarillo, who was at Northridge before, Ted Burton, who was at Michigan. I mean, these guys or Braden Montgomery at Stanford. Like, he could have stayed there, but you test yourself in the SEC, and each one of these guys, I mean, they've transferred in and they've succeeded here.
No, it's a good point. It reminds me a little bit of LSU last year because we talked about Dylan Cruz and Tommy Tanks, and Cruz was going to be the number 2 overall pick, and Tommy White, one of the best RBI and home run hitters in his college career during these 3 years. But there were Dugas. And you go down the list, there were a handful of other really good college hitters and players. And Braden Montgomery is fantastic. Jace Lavalette is one of the best power hitters in the country, too. But there's nice components around him, whether it's a freshman at the top of the lineup or some of the transfers you mentioned. I mean, Jim Schlossnagle is no dummy when it comes to putting together a roster and going out and trying to bring some people into the SEC and into A&M. And that's why it hasn't taken long for them to be competitive. And this Western Division, to me, looks a little different because 2-3 years ago, of course, it was LSU, Arkansas, and then you mix in Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And now you've seen A&M kind of creep up there with Arkansas, and then maybe Ole Miss and Mississippi State kind of taking a step backwards. And that's why I think this series is intriguing. And if you're a fan, you love it that it comes late in the year. If you're a fan of the two teams, maybe you wish it didn't, because a lot of hard work might be tilted in one direction or another when it comes to winning this division or winning the SEC. But no, I'm with you. I think this lineup that A&M poses is really tough, and that's why I'd love to see Arkansas's pitching, Phil, kind of clicking on all cylinders, because it's been Arkansas kind of pitching and defense and A&M offense, but A&M's pitching might be a little better than Arkansas's offense as a whole this year, so it makes it a little more, I think, interesting if all three of these games get played on time.
Hey, Brett, Arkansas, number 3 team in the country, and they're making a pitching change. What are your thoughts on that? Some would say, let them fight through it. You are the number. It's not like all of a sudden we're outside of the top 10 now. They're still competitive, still have a chance to win it. But Gage Wood going to get his first SEC start coming up either, I guess, today or tomorrow. I mean, would it be tomorrow, Phil?
It would be, yeah.
Matt, I'm excited for it, and I think as you posed that question, it made me think, because this has been a team in the top 5 all year, really in the top 3, and, I've heard Phil say it before, and I agree with him 100%. For this team to really go to Omaha and get deep, they're going to need Brady Tygart and Molina to be successful. Now, it hasn't happened the last couple of weeks, and DVH is the ultimate, and I don't want to use the word tinker. I just think he just has a way of kind of picking the right days to put certain guys in the lineup or maybe pull somebody back. And I support it. I just think these deficits that the team has had to endure on these Saturday and Sunday games, or games 2 and 3 of the series, has not been good. And I would not have bet on them coming back last Sunday. It just didn't look like it was going to happen. To their credit, they found it. But, I'm all for throwing Gage Wood or even Ben Bybee out there this weekend. And I know the tournament's coming up soon in Hoover, but I feel like if these guys give you a chance, Gage in particular, and he throws 4 innings, then maybe you bring in a Mason Molina or maybe Tygart if he isn't skipped this weekend, and let those guys go. And if they're able to go 4 innings again, it shortens the game. Now, if they're going to struggle and it's the 5th inning or 6th inning when they come on, you no longer have to walk that tightrope and say, I have to stick with my starter. I can't take my starter out after 20 pitches. You can if a relief pitcher is not successful. I mean, you have that leeway, and maybe Gage can give them a better chance to compete in games 2 and 3. I fear there's going to be a day somewhere where Arkansas is actually going to lose a Hagan start. And if that's the case, you really need games 2 and games 3
Bite your tongue.
to go well.
Bite your tongue.
I mean,
doesn't
I'm
happen.
with you.
No.
You hope, it came close in Florida, and then you were a little bit concerned last weekend. And, the guy's really good, but it doesn't mean he's perfect, or it doesn't mean Arkansas is going to score some runs. But I just feel like they've got to figure this out a little bit better on Saturdays and Sundays, or games 2 and 3 of the series. And this is really the last regular season weekend to tinker before you head to Hoover, which is kind of a shell game in and of itself.
How dare you suggest that they could lose a game started by Hagan Smith? Have you not been – come on, Brett. You're going to throw that out there? No, but it's true, though, and you want to at least – and that's one of the things we've wondered throughout the year. It's like, well, at some point they lose a game that Hagan pitches, so you need somebody in the back 2 games. Still hasn't happened yet. But look, A&M's already made a change. Potentially, they made a change last week. They threw a lefty in Shane Sadeo instead of the guy that had been making their Sunday starts. The other guy, the other lefty, Justin Lampkin, he might not throw tomorrow. They went with a TBA tomorrow because he's been really bad. Part of this also, too, so there's a couple extra things here, Brett. Just because Molina isn't listed as the starting pitcher for Saturday doesn't mean he's not going to pitch on Saturday. He still could. I think depending on what happens in the first 2 games, he could still get a start on Saturday. And that could be a really good thing for him to show that, he's able to take a step past that. So,
no, I would agree. I think
go ahead.
If Gage Wood again throws 4 or 5 innings and you bring Mason on, he's successful. Maybe he finishes that game, especially if you have to empty the tank on a Friday and throw out a Fouch or McIntyre, whatever the case may be. It gives you that opportunity. I think the one wild card, though, Phil, that kind of gave me pause, and I think it didn't surprise us, but you still hated to hear Dave say it this week, is that maybe they'll just skip Brady altogether. I mean, his velocity was a little bit down, and he was posed a direct question, was DVH, and he said, maybe we'll just rest him this weekend, because he was in that 90-91 rather than 93-ish, 94 range, and that meant that he leaned on that curveball a lot. And that curveball sometimes it has great spin, but it hits guys. You can see it. You lay off it if it's not in the zone or they aren't chasing it. It's high pitch counts and whatnot. So that, to me, is the biggest concern. I mean, skipping Brady this weekend's not the biggest deal, but does that mean he's going to be fresh and ready to go in a week or so, or is this an issue that's coming at the worst possible time?
Well, and also, who takes the role that Gage Wood had? Because look at what he did last week. I mean, he was the guy.
I like Molina. I think he could do that. Fit in, trying to come in and get 6 outs, 5 outs. Do you like that, Phil? You don't.
Brett, what do you think? I mean, because he's pitched in relief as a freshman. Pitching is pitching. Just because you haven't done it since you were a freshman doesn't mean you can't do it now. It's just a different role. Do you think he could fill in maybe that same role that Wood had filled in if things are right?
Well, I think there's a couple of thoughts to that. Bringing somebody into a bases-loaded, nobody-out situation might not be Mason, maybe a little more pitch to contact or whatever. I mean, Gage Wood felt like he was meant for that situation. If anybody was going to get out of that the other day, by getting 3 outs and not allowing to run to score. If I wanted somebody to come on and maybe get some quick outs and be effective and hope that Mason was throwing strikes, I wouldn't mind running him out there for a longer period of time. I think he wants to be in that rotation, but the best way maybe for him to get back is to pitch well in whatever role he's called upon. If that's kind of a long relief, and to me, a long relief can also, finish a game. I think McIntyre earlier in the year was that guy that would come on and maybe come on in the 6th inning or whatever, and if he was effective, he just kept rolling, and there was no need to get Fouch up or get Gackle up, and that's, I'd still be – Arkansas's done a great job using those guys, Fouch and Gackle. You hate to lean on them too much in these last couple of weeks before you're really going to need to do that maybe in the postseason for the regionals or supers.
Brett, what team look at the last I guess we'd say 2 national championships, because Mississippi State they played at home to get there. And we're kind of looking at them like, yeah, that's a team that could make a run. Ole Miss got in as the last team in 2 years ago. They win the Natty. Last year, LSU didn't really have the kind of regular season that I think we expected. Then they go ahead and have the kind of postseason that we did expect. Is there a team outside of the top 4 right now in the SEC that you think could make a run that people aren't paying attention to?
That's a good question. When you started to pose that question, I thought in general, Wake Forest was a team that we thought was going to be really good, that all of a sudden wasn't playing very good baseball, that seems to have really kind of locked in as of late. We don't get to see them, of course, because we're so focused on the SEC. I don't know. I mean, it does feel like it's possible, though, right? I mean, just because we might not throw a team out there immediately, just what you went through with Ole Miss a couple of years ago, barely getting in and then kind of finding some magic, I think is just a storyline that it shows it's possible. I think that, you need the right draw. You need a little bit of luck. You need to be playing right or well at the right time of the year. And there's a lot of components to that. And sometimes we feel like we have a pretty good read on it going into the regionals, and then you're 2 games into the regional, and they're like, oh, my goodness, TCU's better than I thought. This team's not playing well. And it shows you what a crapshoot it is. I'd have a hard time throwing one out there right now outside of the top 4, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if somebody found a way to get to Omaha, kind of like Auburn even did a few years ago when you didn't think they were maybe a College World Series type team.
Brett, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on, man. Thank you. And hey, what day are you looking at maybe coming to College Station? Was it today? Weather
permitting? It was today. Yeah, I've got high school graduation this week in Houston, so I'd like to see Hagen pitch today and get out there. But it just keeps getting darker and darker in the part of Texas I'm at right now. So I hope that's not the case for you.
No, they just covered the field, so it tells you what they think's about to happen here. That's for sure. Brett, appreciate you, man. Maybe we'll see you. Maybe we won't.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Brett.
Brett Dolan with us each Thursday here on Halftime. Hey, remember, when you're looking for your next side-by-side motorcycle, ATV, or zero-turn mower, don't look any further than your local Wood Power Sports store. Wood Power Sports has 3 convenient locations in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville, and over 9 brands to choose from. Pretty much, if you can think of it, they've got it. Can-Am, Polaris, Kawasaki, Yamaha, CF Moto, Suzuki, KTM, Hustler, and Honda. These 3 convenient locations providing you with outstanding service and parts capabilities. They even offer deliveries. You can learn more at woodpowersports.com. And you can get on the horn and call us or text us. The McLarty Daniel hotline is open For the remainder of the show, 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
For breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You got the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, Matt, it just hit me that we're not that far away from SEC meetings in Destin. ACC meetings are happening right now. And this is usually about the time where you start wondering, just because of recent history in the last few years, of some sort of conference realignment, because it's always happened right around late May into June into July before the athletic calendar really turns. And that's not going to happen right now. I think the only one I've heard about, and this is, Missouri State is going to the Conference USA. That's the only one I've heard about. You just think about what the last few years have like and all of the massive changes and the death of a league and everything. But I don't think we're going to be seeing any of that right now. But Clemson and Florida State, like, what that's got to be so just very, very weird for them to all be in the same place with their meetings right now, not knowing full well, I mean, the suit's already there. The two of the biggest athletic departments in the ACC are suing to get out of the league. And yet they got to act like they're all, I wouldn't say they got to act like they're all one big happy family, but they got to figure out how to live together right now.
SEC Media Days, yeah. Man, that's gonna be fun.
It'd be the meetings. No, there'd be the athletic director meeting. That's where the rules changes all take place. You know, that kind of stuff. That's where they vote on this and that.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to go to those meetings.
Yeah, no kidding. You don't have to go to media days either. Doesn't sound like it would be all that much fun. But
it's pomp and circumstance there. There's you don't learn anything at SEC Media Days. But you got to have it. It's pageantry, you know.
It's media members hanging out with other media members and reporting on it. I think is what it is.
Yeah.
It's pageantry.
Exactly.
Yes. But yeah, the Florida State Clemson thing is mushrooming. They're going to get out. They're going to get out of that league at some point. Either that, or I think that there's a point where ESPN can almost blow the ACC up, because there's two things that I'm sure the ACC would love to, if they could, renegotiate the contract and get more money, but out of that rock, I don't think they're gonna get any more blood from ESPN. Or ESPN could say, I think it's once there's 9 years left, so maybe another couple years or so, they don't have to renew. They could have the option to void the rest of the contract, and then the rest of that league breaks up. But maybe even before then, you get Clemson and Florida State leaving. North Carolina, some of their board of regents are talking about that it doesn't make sense to keep them to stay inside the ACC. So I think just at some point the SEC will be growing. These meetings in Destin will include another 2, 3, 4 people to get in on these conversations.
Well, Clemson and Florida State this year both have a top 25 baseball team. So does OU and Texas. OU and Texas coming into the SEC next year. You add Clemson and Florida State. I mean, that's a lot of talent, and it's not just in the football sport. It's in other sports as well. And who's the other team, Phil? Do you think it's a Louisville? Do you think it's a North Carolina? Do you think it's a Va Tech? How many other teams do they bring with them?
I think it'll be North Carolina, Florida State, Clemson, and usually these things don't happen in threes. There's got to be another school that goes along with them. I don't know if Virginia carries that kind of weight, or if another one of the bigger North Carolina schools goes along.
NC State,
NC State. But I mean, it would already make sense. I mean, look, the the SEC Network studios are in Charlotte, and there is no SEC school in North Carolina.
Santa Clara's? Yeah. What is Charlotte there? They're not the Santa Clara's.
The Chanticleers?
Santa Clara's, yeah.
The Chants, that's Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina, okay.
I think Charlotte is I think they're the 49ers.
Okay.
And I can't figure out why they would be the 40. I know why San Francisco's the 49ers, because the Gold Rush started in 1849. But why would Charlotte be the 49ers?
1749. Maybe just a decade earlier. Took a while to go across the Rockies.
Yeah, maybe that's what it's about.
John Denver lied, man.
Maybe that's what it's about. Matt, I also just realized that here it is. It's 4 days after Monday, and there still hasn't been any more commits for Cal. And I thought by now, hey, you had a couple of players visit over the weekend, and I thought by now maybe DJ Wagner would have committed. Maybe they were waiting on Kason Pryor, who was the 6'11" power forward center at South Florida. He committed to Louisville. I think he's still staying in the draft, though. So whether or not he actually makes it to campus could be another story. They'd have to wait until late June. But I thought maybe Wagner would have committed by now. I think some people are a little nervous because, well, just the track record of the guys who had visited had committed, except for Brandon Garrison. But maybe that happens sometime soon. I don't know of any visits this weekend.
Maybe when the combine finishes up, I wonder how many kids are up there at the combine working out. And so when that all the way gets done and you kind of get a sit down or a final grade, kind of figure out what you want to do. Do you want to go back and make a little money?
Yeah.
And play in front of 20,000? You talk about the home court advantage Bud Walton has and the fans and the atmosphere. Do you want to go do that and have a chance to win a national title, or do you want to play in the Chesapeake Bay League in front of 700 people every once in a while people work on their game? I think after that the combine lets out, maybe you get one or two guys that were up there.
You're still well than I guess 6 weeks until the draft. I know it's late June, and we'd had a question in earlier about Janelle Davis, who's the shooting guard who transfers into Arkansas from FAU, and I know he declined the invite for the G League Elite Combine, but I think he's still available for the draft. So I don't know how that all works out. Like, if you don't go to the combine, do teams view you differently? But
who's the best G leaguer? Because Portland, remember they traded Dame Lillard to Milwaukee, and they took Scoot Richardson or Scooty Henderson. I don't know, but it's like who is the best G leaguer to come into the NBA? Are they even having success? I'd start looking at that a little bit. If you're a 17-year-old kid you're trying to build for your future, I don't know that there's been a lot of success for kids saying, "Hey, I want to go to the G League first and then go to the league."
Like, how much development is actually
name me
there?
5. I'm trying to think who's 5 players that have done that. I don't think that they've had that much, and maybe they're out there, and I just don't know of them. But I don't know that's the route that I'd want to be going.
That's just that's an interesting way to look at it too, because you think, well, it used to be the D League, which was for developmental.
Mm-hmm.
G is for Gatorade, but it's the same idea. And I don't know the answer to that, because each of these teams has their own affiliate, but it's one affiliate, and your rosters are already so small comparatively to the other developmental leagues that I think about when it comes to hockey or Major League Baseball. It's like, so yeah, they are developing guys for the major leagues in minor league baseball. That's the way it's been done for years. But even if you develop and get better in the D League, does that mean that you can dent an NBA roster? I would just think you can crack out of the minor leagues in baseball a little easier than you can out of the G League. That's just how it all seems. I'll go through some texts here. Matt says the Charlotte 49ers have a more annoying baseball fan than the Vandy Whistler. Says his name is the Man. Now, Matt, we were in Charlotte for, it was supposed to be a 2-game series. I forget if this was 2018 or 2019, and it was supposed to be a 2-game series in Charlotte, one at the AAA Park downtown, which is gorgeous, and the other at their campus park. Now, we played one of the games because of rain. The one at the AAA stadium got rained out. We did play at their campus park. Nice little small college ballpark. I don't remember being super annoyed by a fan, if the fan was there or not, or if maybe he wasn't close enough to the radio booth where I could hear him. Is he louder than the Vandy Whistler? Nothing is as worse as the Vandy Whistler. Like, Matt, if I could choose one person that wouldn't be allowed to go to any sporting event that I'm anywhere near, he'd be the one. And I'd do it out of spite.
Yeah, I don't guess I've been around the Vandy Whistler, but when there's
Consider
just
yourself
obnoxious noise for no reason, it's I would definitely be asking the question why. Why is this what we're doing today?
You ever just question sometimes, though, and I've wondered about this with some other kids that I get around. Are we trying to be annoying on purpose?
This is what you're doing? This is it? This is the thing? Okay.
This is your choice.
This is what you decided to do.
You have made a choice to do everything you possibly can to make my existence while I'm around you miserable. That's what you've decided to do, huh?
Good for go you.
Oh, man. And sometimes you'd be like, well, maybe they didn't take their medicine today. Maybe they didn't have enough coffee today. Maybe somebody had a little bit too much the night before. But it's a conscious decision. To me, it feels like it's a conscious decision to do something which you know is going to completely annoy everybody around you. And you just don't care very much, right? Text coming in here now, that's what people think Brian in Ozark does, is that he knows full well that he's going to make a phone call to this show, and whatever it is that he says is going to annoy people. It's just he's not around you, so it's not like he has to sit in it. He doesn't have to live through it. He's not sitting next to anybody, that's looking at him rolling their eyes. For somebody like the Vandy Whistlers, like you're doing it with all these people around you, even on the road, even at the College World Series, and he still doesn't care at all.
Do you think people that are close in his section make sure that they blow spitballs at him? Do you think any type of thing you can do to kind of get back at him a little bit?
At the ballparks, when he goes on the road, like that's the way that I would hope those fans view it. The people that sit around him at Vanderbilt baseball games at their home stadium,
do they encourage him?
Absolutely, because he does a whistle that leads to a clap. To a whistle, to a clap, and he's got all these bozos around.
You know
him
what's
that are
pretty
clapping.
cool that I found out? I think it's the 6th inning that it's over on the first base side. They do the chicken dance over there. Why can't we do something like that? That's not so annoying. That's
the Bobby Chicken dance.
Yeah. I had a buddy point that out to me the other day. Yeah.
I didn't even realize that Bobby did that until I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I've been going to games, and apparently he's been doing it for a while. I just noticed it. Yeah.
Well, it's just for him. It's just for him because Bobby Wernes, who's the first base coach, he has such a I don't know, like an interesting body type that when he walks and moves, it almost looks like he's moving or walking like a chicken. So they get him to do this dance at the beginning of the 6th inning every home game. And I remember seeing it, and I was like, what's wrong with Bobby? Why is he – did a bug just fly in his mouth or something? Or did he get an electroshock from the sky or something like that? And I was like, no, don't you know we did this? I tweeted it out. And don't you know we did this? No, I don't know you do that. I'm up here in a radio booth. I can't tell that you're screaming Bobby Chicken. And I guess I hadn't paid enough attention to Bobby Wernes, though. If I could just get Bobby Wernes to do the Bobby Chicken standing behind the Whistler and then lean over to him and say something to him in only the way that Bobby Wernes can, because nobody can say no to Bobby Wernes.
It's only weird if it doesn't work.
Stop the whistling. So this is your choice for today. You don't care.
This is how you decided to wake up and go about life. Okay.
You can make a big decision. It was a great decision for life for dinner tonight at Fish City Grill in Rogers. Here are their specials all month long. Beer battered cod tacos. Sounds delicious. Get slaw, chili tartar, pickled jalapeno, cilantro, and sweet potato fries with it. Redfish double Oscar. Now you're talking Oscar, you're doing double Oscar. Lump crab meat, grilled Gulf shrimp, hollandaise, broccoli rice casseroles, and char-grilled asparagus. And crawfish season is in for another month. It's the best in Northwest Arkansas at Fish City Grill, South Bellevue Road, Rogers, or you can call them for curbside pickup or delivery at 479-636-8833. Back to wrap up halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Tommy Kraft on ESPN Radio 95.3, live again at Camping World. They've got 2 locations here in our listing area. We're at the Van Buren location today. You can also stop in at Podo. They're on Highway US 59. Everything I'm telling you is good at both locations, but we'd love for you to come by and say hello today. We're between Van Buren and Alma on Highway 64 at the Camping World location. You've seen the huge American flag out on I-40. Come in and say hello today. We got food, fun, and great prices. It's the party in the parking lot going on right now. Prices start at $13,999. We're taking the summer off of payments. No, nothing down and no payments for 90 days either. And prices again at $13,999. Everybody can enjoy camping this summer. Big savings on select retail items. Also, their services are on special this weekend as well. And so many more in-store specials to come see. Come join us, the party in the parking lot. We're live at Camping World this afternoon on ESPN Radio 95.3.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners. Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You wanna do right, you wanna do right. That's what you want.
I thought you were the one as you were, the one as you were. I thought you were, I thought you were. What a fool, what a fool, what a fool, what a fool. Just take, just take, just take, just take. Drop out, drop out, drop out, drop out. Don't care, don't care, don't know what it, don't know what it. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
All right, what's happening in what do we got for NBA playoffs tonight, Matt? What are you going to get your eyes on?
Yeah, you got the big one. It's Nuggets and T-Wolves. It's the Denver can close it out. We'll see if Jamal Murray, we'll see what he's doing today. We'll see if Aaron Gordon's playing today. It's a game. It's only basketball game tonight.
See if the next MJ shows up and does the next MJ thing, or that might also mean, advancing to the conference finals next year anyway.
Hey, I'm an Anthony Richardson fan. an Anthony Edwards fan. He's going to be okay. Like I said a while back ago, let's let him get through the second round of the playoffs before we start anointing him the next chosen one.
You ready for Let's Go Baseball tonight, Matt, or Let's Go Rain Out? one of these two things.
You get an American, Norwich City playing Leeds today for the right to play in the most expensive game in all of the land, May 26th. So this is the second leg of a two-legged semifinal there. It'd be at Leeds. Leeds was in they were in the Premier League last year. Norwich City, they were in there a few years ago, but they're going to battle it out here in a second to go to the championship game.
Now that's for the most expensive game, but it's really kind of a race to not be at the bottom.
Yeah, that'd be next year. The thing is, what happens a lot of times is you get promoted up, and then you got to try to stay. How can you stay up? How many years can you stay up? A lot of times you go right back down. As you see with Sheffield United, and Luton Town, they both went right back down.
Well, I don't think we're going to find out anything about this game, whether it's played or not, at least for another, almost 2 o'clock, at least for another 3 hours, because it's the kind of thing where you can sit and wait for a while and see how the storm develops and see how much lightning is coming around, 7 to 8 and 8:30. Once you get to 8 o'clock, maybe you start thinking about banging it. So I'll just say stay tuned to the Razorback Baseball social media, also on hitthatline.com. That'll be one of the places that you find out whether there's baseball or not. And then we'll talk about it all tomorrow. Matt Jones, have a great rest of your night. C-Unit, appreciate you. Make sure you stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach coming up very soon. And the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is also downloadable shortly. It's a good thing I remember to put this window closed, because otherwise all this very expensive electrical equipment could get destroyed. For Matt, for the C-Unit, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening to Halftime today. Get up, get out, and get better.